Kevin then went on to talk about Zigs and why he thinks they should feature in every angler's armoury.
There's a tremendous amount of time when carp aren't on the bottom looking for food. In fact, if you took a 24-hour period, I think there's more chance they'd be off the bottom than down on it. Carp fishing consistency is about fishing for them where they are. So do you want to sit on your hands for those odd times in the day when they are on the bottom? Go after them mid-water on the surface if you get the opportunity. I've had to teach myself the zig rig, made a real effort actually, because I don't like zig rigs. I'm about creating a feeding situation. I love getting them really on the bait and then they take the rig. That's how I get me rocks off. So to my mind, the zig rig, which is almost like an opportunist rig, I like it to the salmon and the fly. Just comes along, snaps at the fly, almost in instinct. So you can't really create hard feeding situations. Yes, I know some people are doing surface spod mixes and that, but I don't think they're big fish methods. But the zig rig will for sure catch any fish that swims in England or abroad really. Any size carp will take it if you get it right. Key thing to my mind with a zig rig is you've got to get the depth absolutely spot on. And so you have to really give this method some attention. I think a lot of people go at it half-heartedly. They're not catching anything. They're aware that fish are swimming mid-water or in the upper levels. So they just bring one rod in and chuck out a zig at the depth that they hope or think the fish may be swimming at. But it's really critical to really make the method work for you. You've got to get that depth spot on. So if you're only using one rod, the chances of being spot on is going to take a lot longer and you may miss the opportunity. So I commit myself fully. I'll bring in all my rods and I'll set them at different depths. I remember one story which can illustrate this. I was on a lake one really cold February day, being winter, and the fact the carp weren't mooching around, the water was crystal clear. So I went up a tree and I saw a shoal, probably about 9-10 carp from memory, continue swimming around this island. I couldn't plumb it because I didn't want to disturb the fish. I figured it was probably about 7 foot deep. So I brought in all 3 rods, set one at 2'6", one at 3, and one at 3'6". Half an hour later I had to take on the 3-foot rod. I was well chuffed about. So I moved the one that was 2'6" to 4 foot. So now I'm fishing them at 3'6" and 4 foot. I had 2 more takes that day, both on the 3-foot rod. So it just shows how critical it is to get the depth right. Really, zigs fishing, other than that element, is a very simple approach. In fact, I'll keep it really simple. I love using really small hooks for the zig rig. I generally use a size 10 twister. The twister's my favourite hook anyway. As you see, I use it in the blowback rig. And I just stick a bit of foam on it, simple as that. Maybe they just come along and think it's a midge or some insect and just snap at it. Happy days. I think with the zig rig, you've got to fully commit yourself to the method. It's absolutely critical to get the depth right. You see carp swimming along, they're kind of staying at that same depth on the day. So if you're a few inches either way, you just don't seem to get the takes. I think it's a bit like a salmon and a fly. It swims along, it has some insect right in front of its nose. It just snatches at it almost by instinct. So if you just chuck one rod out, you're blanking, day's warm, you see the fish mid-water, you just think I'll try a zig rig. It's going to be so difficult for you to accurately ascertain the depth. I remember one February session, I was on a lake, the water was really crystal clear because the fish weren't grubbing up the bottom, and I climbed up a tree and I saw a group of carp swimming around an island, perpetually actually, kept on going around it in circles, and it was difficult for me to put a marker out without disturbing them. I reckoned the depth was about 7 foot, so I brought all 3 rods in and set up zig rigs, one at 2'6", one at 3 foot and one at 3'6". Cast them out, and within only half an hour I had a take on the rod that was set at 3'6". So I put that back out, and the lower one that was 2'6", I moved that the other side to 4 foot. So I'm now fishing them at 3 foot, 3'6" and 4 foot. I had 2 more takes that day, both on the 3'6" rod. So it really does show how critical it is. You've got to maximise your opportunity in finding the right depth, and you only do that if you fully commit with all rods. I do like one little thing about the Zig rig though. I think it's a very simple rig to use. I don't complicate it at all. I like small hooks, the twister, same as my bottom bait rigs really. I love a size 10 twister with a little bit of foam on it. I don't think you even need a proper bait. Maybe again, there's just, see it as a pupae or some form of insect and just grab it. It can be a wicked method on its day. You need to learn it.